Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you again for another video, and sorry that I gave you guys a negative review for the last review for Nickelback High Time. I just wasn't a personal fan of that track, and I tried listening to it again, and it did nothing for me. So, yeah, it is what it is, but there's good songs and bad songs out there. You just gotta find something to balance it out, of course. Like, play a good song or whatever that you know you like. But, yeah, I'm returning to you for the recap video for Tuesday Album Review Season 4 recap video. And, yeah, I think this is going to be a 2 or 3 part video, so I'm going to discuss from what episode to what episode I get to for this recap video, where I start from, and then where I have to end it until the next part, of course, and let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this recap video for Season 4 of Tuesday Album Reviews. Now, I started doing this on June 7th this year, and I started with Owl City Cinematic. I fucking hated that album. That album was such cringe, and I tried getting back into it this year just to see if it would do something for me. It didn't. And the title track just didn't do much for me anyway. The album bored me. The album was shit. And you can definitely go check out my Tuesday album review for that, for Season 4, Episode 1, for Owl City Cinematic. I think I did a good job on it. It's just, there's going to be some people that may like it and other people that may not, but it's your choice whether you want to like it or not. But still, episode 1 I did was for Owl City Cinematic. Episode 2 I did was for another terrible album, Fall Out Boy Mania. And that was their last album, so they have not been making new music since that album. I guess they're just... And one of the guitarists said he was disappointed with that album and wasn't a fan of the production behind the album, because the production in it was pretty bad. So, it wasn't the best album in their discography at all. So, yeah, you can definitely go check out episode 2 if you haven't seen it for Fall Out Boy Mania. I think you'll enjoy it for the Tuesday album review. For some people that may want to see a negative review some of the time, but personally I don't like negative reviews some of the time, but it's necessary. It's how you build your audience up as a YouTube critic and all that, for criticizing albums and all that, but it is what it is. But I try to be constructive with my criticism some of the time and try to give bands hope that, oh, maybe you could do better on the next album cycle. But, yeah. So I do need to learn how to be a little bit more constructive with my criticism. So, yeah, episode 2 I did was for Fall Out Boy Mania, for Tuesday album reviews. Now, the next one is Hoobastank Push Pull for episode 3 that I did for Tuesday album reviews. Wasn't a huge fan of this project from Hoobastank. Basically, it was kind of on the cringe side and the safe side for me, with some of the lyrics. But I'm sorry for yawning. It's just I'm trying to wake up a bit. It's just I had to get up at 7 this morning and thought I was gonna go to work, and it didn't turn out that way. So it's whatever. I was hoping to make money, but shit happens sometimes. So yeah, episode 3 I did was for Hoobastank Push Pull. There were some songs on there like Don't Look Away that I wasn't a huge fan of. Push Pull was a little repetitive, but it was okay. It just wasn't great in any way. So yeah, please excuse my yawning in this video. It's just Still trying to wake up a bit. I already had my coffee, but I feel like going back to sleep again. And that's how it makes me feel sometimes when I yawn so much and try to wake up and all that. So definitely go check out episode 3 for Hoobastank Push Pull. I think you'll enjoy it. Episode 4 I did was for Drag Me Out Pressure for the Tuesday album review of season 4. I think that was a good album. This is where I started listening to better albums. Some of the time, of course. But I think Drag Me Out Pressure was pretty interesting. I liked the, what's the song name? Sacrifices. That was a pretty good one. I really enjoyed that song. Promises was, I think that's what it was called. I can't remember, honestly. It's just been a bit since I've listened to the album, but I did enjoy some of the album. There were some songs that were my least favorites, but other than that, did enjoy the new, not new Drag Me Out album, but the previous album before Demons Away. So, Pressure was an interesting album. I wanted to re-review it because I wanted to give it an interesting score for my viewers and give them my take on what I think of it as of 2022. So check out episode 4 for Tuesday album reviews season 4. I think you'll enjoy it. Episode 5 I did was for My Chemical Romance. I brought you my bullets. You brought me your love. Yeah, this track, or not track, this album was pretty good. It was really strong. Gerard's singing in it was a little monotoned and hard to hear some of the time, but it still did pretty good with how it was sounding. Excuse my yawning again. But still, episode 5 I did was for My Chemical Romance. I brought you my bullets, you brought me your love. Vampires Will Never Hurt You is one of the songs that I personally liked. And there were some other tracks that were my least favorites, but still was a really good album. So, yeah, it was for episode 5 of season 4 of Tuesday Album Reviews, so definitely go check that out when you get the chance. Episode 6 I did for Tuesday Album Reviews season 4 was for Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. Pretty interesting album. I really enjoyed it. There were some songs that I don't know if I was feeling for, but other than that, this was a strong album from him. I think this was his second album, and if I'm not mistaken, but it was a pretty strong project. So yeah, pretty good song for what it went for. So, or pretty good album, I meant to say. I'm getting my words mixed around, so please forgive me on that. So yeah, episode 6 I did was for Good Kid, Mad City. For Tuesday Album Reviews Season 4. Episode 7 I did was for Kanye West's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. This was the last album I was going to possibly review in his discography because he went off the rails after this album. In my personal opinion, there were some albums that I wasn't sure if I was connecting with some of his other albums, like Jesus is King was cringe back in 2019. It was just not a good album. And was Donda was actually the only album that they had, I guess, for audio CD or whatever. So it just disappointed me that Donda 2 didn't get a streaming service thing. You have to go to Stem Player in order to listen to it, which is stupid. And you pay like $200 just for what? Listening to one album of his. It's not fucking worth it, honestly. So yeah, this was the last project I liked from Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And there were some songs like So Appalled that I enjoyed. Runaway was my personal favorite. It was a long song, but it was really good, in my personal opinion. But this is the only album I'll praise him on. Other than that, the dude is fucking crazy. So that's my personal opinion. And what I think, of course. So, episode 7 I did for season 4 of Tuesday Album Review was for Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Definitely go check out this review if you haven't seen it yet. Episode 8 I did was for Seether, Poison the Parish for the Tuesday Album Review. I think I'm going to re-review Si Vis Pacem Parabellum in due time and give it another whirl and see what I think of it as of next season or season 6 of Tuesday Album Review. So it may be a little bit till I get to reviewing that. So definitely expect a review for it in the future sometime for that album. For a re-review, of course. But still, episode 8 was... I think this was a pretty good album for what it went for. So, yeah. Episode 8 I did was for Seether, Poison the Parish. Sorry about the Facebook ding. It does that sometimes with notifications. Episode 9 I did was for Black Eyed Peas, The Beginning. Hated this album. It was not good. This was the only album for that month that I personally did not like. So I was really disappointed with that Black Eyed Peas The Beginning album. It was so cringe and there's too much techno stuff and electronic music that did not connect very well with me and executed really well over me. So I was really hating the Time Dirty bit. Don't Stop the Party was fucking annoying. And Just Can't Get Enough was the only track I was like, it's average, I guess. But the ending to the album was fine. The last song for the album was tolerable, but the rest of the tracks were shit. So, yeah, there were like maybe 2 songs I personally could connect with off this album. Maybe another one, I can't remember, but still. Definitely go check out episode 9 for Black Eyed Peas, The Beginning, for the Tuesday Album Review, Season 4, Episode 9. I think you'll enjoy it personally. I kind of did rant in that review a bit. I just did not like that album. Episode 10 I did was for Drake, Thank Me Later. Pretty good album, or I can't remember what I rated it, but I think it was a good album, or pretty good album. It was his debut album to start his career off. But now, with how he turned out with his newer music, it's shit. Honestly, it's just generic shit from him. So, I'm really disappointed in Drake. After Scorpion, I was like, nah, I'm not interested in his music anymore. So, yeah, Thank Me Later was episode 10 for Tuesday Album Review Season 4. Definitely go check out that review if you haven't seen it yet. Episode 11 I did was for The Weeknd, Kissland. Now, this was a pretty strong album. I really liked it. The Weeknd did have some songs I wasn't sure if I was connecting with this album. I think it was the Odd Look song that I just got repetitive with the same hook and all that. And it didn't change up the song too much, but it is what it is, so yeah. Episode 11 I did was for The Weeknd, Kissland. I did enjoy the title track. That was pretty interesting. Live For was a really good one, and Wanderlust was pretty interesting. And I think my personal favorite was Love in the Sky, I believe. Mostly Live For was my personal favorite, but still. Episode 11 I did was for Kissland by The Weeknd. Episode 12 I did was for My Chemical Romance, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. Now, this was a pretty good album, or really good album. I think it was really good. It just had some moments where I wasn't sure if I was feeling for certain songs, but still pretty strong album. Helena was a great track, in my personal opinion, and there were some other tracks that I was connecting with this album. And yeah, I'm Not Okay, I Promise was a favorite of mine. I think the song, what was it? The At the End of the World or whatever song. I can't remember that song name, but you can remind me in the comment section below. That was my personal favorite song. I really like that one. But still, I just can't think of it right now because my brain's in a fog right now. So yeah, episode 12 I did was for My Chemical Romance, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge for the Tuesday album review. Definitely go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. And give me a moment, guys. Gotta pause the video. Sorry, guys. Got a phone call from someone. I had to pause the video because I didn't want any interruptions too much with this video. But yeah, sorry about that. Episode 13 I did was for Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly. Pretty strong album for sure. I really enjoyed majority of the songs. It was pretty lengthy. It was a lengthy album with the runtime. I think it was like 78 minutes or something like that. I can't remember correctly, but it was pretty lengthy, but it was enjoyable. So definitely go check out Kendrick Lamar To Pimp a Butterfly album review for the Tuesday album review for season 4 episode 13. I think you will personally enjoy it. And I'm going to talk about one more album and then I got to wrap it up and come back at you for part 2, and I think the next part should finish it. Episode 14 is for Kings of Leon, Come Around Sundown for Tuesday album review season 4. I think this album was meh. It wasn't their best work, but it was something at least. Nothing great. I think Pickup Truck was my personal favorite, but other than that, the rest of the album just felt a little flat, in my personal opinion. So, certain songs, of course, but it just depends on the listener, of course, and how they perceive it. So, yeah, episode 14 I did was for Kings of Leon, Come Around Sundown for the Tuesday album review season 4. Definitely go check it out if you haven't seen it. So yeah, I'm going to have to come back at you for the continuation of this Tuesday album review season 4 recap video for part 2. And definitely check it out when it comes out, of course. I know this is a lengthy video. It's just I only have a certain amount of time to record videos, up to 20 minutes. If it's over 20 minutes, I have to delete it, of course. So yeah, I will be returning to you for part 2 of recap video for season 4 of Tuesday album reviews, I meant to say. So definitely tune into that, and I'll see you in the next part. So thanks for watching.